Hello beautiful people, how's it going? I'm back with another video. I'm wearing my Rocky shirt today because Creed 3 is officially out in this entire world, and we're about to talk about Creed 3 and what I honestly thought of the film. Creed 3, of course, is directed by Michael B. Jordan, who also stars in the movie alongside Jonathan Majors and Tessa Thompson without Sylvester Stallone, and so I wanted to talk about that today. Now, I've actually sat with this film for about a week now, trying to gather all of my thoughts, because when I left the theater, I went to see it with my dad. On opening night, we were both very excited, but also very interested to see where they take the story, because we knew that Sly wasn't going to be in it. Now, a little bit of context for you guys, if you guys haven't seen my videos, I reacted to all of the Rocky movies back to back last year, and so it was a really thrilling ride for me. I fell in love with the Rocky films in succession so quickly, and if you guys remember correctly, I adored the Creed films so much that they were actually some of my favorite Rocky movies. So while I was excited to see Creed 3 and see that continuation, I was really hesitant to see how they would do it without Rocky Balboa, who is the main character in the Rocky franchise. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Creed 3 is a really good boxing movie in my opinion. Take in, I said boxing movie. Do I think it's a great Rocky movie? We'll see about that. Now, by far, the best part about this movie are the amazing performances by Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. I just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania almost a month ago now, and I thought it was absolutely horrible, but again, Jonathan Majors was the best part of it. So I was really excited to go into Creed 3 and see what he had to give, and boy, was he such a great antagonist in this film, because without spoiling anything, I could really feel the pain that Jonathan Majors was suffering through. And there were even moments in this film where, for the first time in a Rocky film, you actually root for the antagonist. And I really thought that worked well and gave the film a lot more nuance that I think before had never been done in Rocky films when it comes to the antagonists. Another highlight for me is clearly Michael B. Jordan's directing. This is actually his directorial debut. This is his first movie that he's ever directed. And he said before that he's taken a lot of inspiration from anime. And due to that, you can actually see in a lot of the fight scenes that it's so well choreographed and so well directed. He uses the camera to really grab your attention and pull you into the fight as if you were the one fighting the opponent in this match. Me and my dad watched this movie in an IMAX theater, so to watch those boxing scenes in an IMAX theater and hear all of those sound effects roaring through your body, it really was an amazing experience. And of course, this was the first Rocky movie that I ever saw in theaters, so there was that heightened experience to go with Michael B. Jordan's amazing directing. It was all in all a wonderful cinema experience. And again, one thing that I praise about these movies that nobody seems to talk about is the excellence that is Tessa Thompson. I really like the way they developed her and Adonis's relationship more in this film. I really like how, without spoiling, but I think this was in the trailer, their daughter is now grown up. There's been a time jump, and so they're struggling with a couple of things here and there. So it's got that Rocky drama to it, which I think works really well because it's something you expect in a Rocky film. However, I'm just going to be honest with you guys and say my honest opinion. Out of all of the Creed films, to me, this one was the weakest simply because I just could not get over Rocky not being in it. And trust me, I went into this movie knowing that Rocky wasn't going to be in it. I accepted that. But the fact that they only mentioned him once and it was in passing, we don't even know what Rocky's up to. We don't know what he's doing. By the looks of it, from the end of Creed 2, he was reuniting with his son. So are we supposed to believe that he's over there? And because Rocky wasn't in it, to me, this is one of the Rocky films that fell absolutely flat. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I didn't really enjoy Rocky 4. Creed 3 is on par with Rocky 4 to me, because my problem with Rocky 4 was that, for example, they didn't use the Rocky music for the training montage. I felt that this movie's training montage was really weak. I thought the Creed 1 training montage, where Rocky was doing chemotherapy and Adonis was training and it was simultaneous, I think that was done really well. In Creed 2, when Rocky is training Adonis in the middle of the desert, I thought that was done really well. Even the song choices were handled really, really beautifully, whereas I feel, I listened to the soundtrack this morning actually, I just didn't enjoy it as much as the soundtracks in Creed Creed 1 and in Creed 2. They barely used the Rocky theme, again, without spoiling. They didn't use it, apart from at the very end, and it wasn't even the Rocky theme. It was like a revamped version of it. Nothing from this movie gave me the essence that any of the original Rocky films did. And that's just my feeling and the way I felt walking out of it. I remember reacting to those films, and at the end of each one, I would say, man, I want to go to the gym. And it would motivate me to kind of get up and work out and feel good about myself. And this movie just didn't do that. And I don't know if it's because I know all about the behind-the-scenes drama between Sly and that Winkler guy, and I'm, of course, on Rocky's side. Sorry, Sly's side. But it just didn't feel the same for me, which is a shame because everybody around me who isn't a huge Rocky fan comes out of this movie saying they had a blast. And so I do kind of feel jealous in a way because I feel like I'm being robbed of an experience because I'm, really hung on to the past. But at the same time, it does feel like this movie has a giant Rocky-shaped hole in the middle. They don't even mention him. And a part of me felt so betrayed by that, in a way. I mean, you don't even mention the guy who trained you? Adonis, are you kidding me? There's also the fact that I just can't believe that nobody stood by him when this movie was being made. I expected more of Michael B. Jordan, to be completely honest with you. But I do get that Creed was Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler's idea in the first place. It just breaks my heart that they couldn't come to a compromise that could keep Rocky in this film. There were so many quotes in the Rocky movies that I remember that I still hold on to this day. It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I've been using that for this past month because I've been going through some stuff on my own. And so this movie didn't even give me quotes that I could live by. Man, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it's a great film as a movie in itself. As a sports movie, it's a phenomenal movie. But compared to the other Rocky films, I wouldn't say this is a good Rocky movie at all. And I don't mean Rocky in the sense that it's Sylvester Stallone. They could have done it in other ways. They could have had the original Rocky music. They could have incorporated Rocky themes and more Rocky quotes, but they chose not to. They wanted to make it its own individual thing. And I get that. And that may work for some people, but for me, it really didn't. Now, in terms of the box office, this movie actually had the biggest box office opening of any Rocky movie ever. So financially, it's actually really, really a good thing. And this could give the studio more of a right to say, Sly, we don't need you anymore, and then that's the end of Rocky forever. But to be honest with you, if that happens, I'm going to have a big problem because I really want to see my goofball again, my Rocky, I'm not going to get upset because I was upset about it a couple of days ago, but I'm not going to cry over this today, not on camera. I just really, really felt that this movie could have used a little bit of Rocky. A little cameo would have gone a long way for me. It would have done a lot. But unfortunately, because Rocky's just completely out of it and he's not even mentioned apart from once, it feels so disjointed. They didn't mention Philly. They didn't mention anything now that I think about it. None of the classic Rocky staples. They don't even mention Adonis's dad a lot, to be honest with you, which I also felt was really weird. It really felt like Michael B. Jordan wanted to take it as far away from Rocky as possible, and a part of me felt kind of offended by that. And I'm so sorry if this upsets any of you. I just need you guys to know that I'm a huge Rocky fan, and I really mean it. The Rocky films are movies that my dad grew up on from a really young age, and then he convinced me to react to them on my channel, and then they became a huge part of my life and things that inspired me. And so this movie is kind of heartbreaking to me because I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I really adored it as a film. As a film, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a really, really good movie, but as a Rocky movie, it just goes way lower. And so I really wanted to hear you guys' thoughts if you guys have seen it, because I am honestly really conflicted. I'm really, truly conflicted. And I wish I enjoyed it as much as all of the other people around me who watched it. My dad had a couple of problems with it too, but overall he said it was fine. But I don't know, I was the one who really felt like, man, this is not working for me without Rocky. It's just not. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you guys aren't mad. I really, really hope so. I don't want to upset anybody on this channel, but somehow I always end up doing so. I love you guys so much if you guys made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're feeling nostalgic, maybe stick around and watch my Rocky reactions from last year because they were a lot of fun and I had a great time doing them. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.